Just drop a line and reel 'em in. It's good old boys, come fishing again. Just drop a line and reel 'em in. It's good old boys, come fishing again.
Yeah, it's that time again to drop a line. So sit back and relax and let's go fishing again. Come along as we join John Shaw and today's special guest. Reel 'em in on Fishing with the Good Old Boys. Good fishing.
Just drop a line and reel 'em in. It's good old boys, come fishing again. Just drop a line and reel 'em in. It's good old boys, come fishing again. It's good old boys, come fishing again.
Good morning, folks. I'm John Shaw. It's Fishing with the Good Old Boys. From the Arizona Game and Fish, we have Walt Oxley with us. He's going to show us some basics today and Fishing 101. What do you got, Walt, that you want to share with us?
John, we want to talk about a couple of things to give people an idea of if they want to get started fishing, what are the ways to go about doing that? We want to go through some of the very basic things. I know when I go out and do clinics, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, if I wanted to start either with my family, my wife, or my kids, or myself, what are the ways I could do that? And we're going to show several different types of rods and reels. But if people will have just some basic equipment, a knowledge of a couple of fishing knots and that type of thing, they're really fishing then. They can go out and do it and be successful at it. And this is supposed to be fun. We want it to be fun for people.
There you go. So today's going to be the show.
That's the day.
If you really haven't fished much,
right,
and you really want to know the basics, today's the day with Walt Oxley from the Game and Fish. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back fishing with the Good Old Boys, late May. Okay, we're back, folks. I'm going to ask Walt the question, if you're just starting out fishing, what's the first most important thing you need? I'd say equipment, right, Walt?
Sure, John. It's just, this is a tool we need to use just like everything else, and I think for people that are starting out, that want one rod and reel that they can use easily, and for it to be versatile enough for them to be able to perhaps go trout fishing, bass fishing, even some cat fishing if they like to do that. A push-button rod and reel like this, a simple rod and reel to use.
The old Zepco, we all started with those puppies.
Exactly, and I'll tell you what, they've built a lot of them and they still work very well.
You got that right.
And don't buy the most inexpensive, because most of those are not built very well, but spend a few dollars. It's not terribly expensive to get started, but a reel like this, put some 8-pound test monofilament on it, have a 5.5 or maybe even a 6-foot medium action rod.
What would you rig it up with?
Well, if we're out here like today, we're out at Lake Pleasant, late May. There's quite a few fish working topwater out here. A bait that I would use right now is one that...
a sluggo type bait?
A sluggo type bait, and this is one that has 2 exposed hooks on it. And one of the nice things about this, one reason I would use that on this type of a rod and reel, is that again, we're using one rod that's light enough for us to be able to go trout fishing, so it's not going to have a lot of hook setting power. But this, with the open hook, would allow people to be able to catch a fish, because the fish basically hooks himself. And this is an easy bait to use. There's really no wrong way to do it. This is 8-pound test line, and it doesn't matter what bait we're tying on. We're going to do it basically the same way. And one of the things we're going to do here is go through the eye of the hook, and then we're going to use, and don't worry about the fact that you're going to use a foot or 18 inches of line. This is going to be the cheapest thing you do all day, is do that. We're going to go through the hook, then we're going to go through back again, and what we end up with here is that we just have a double line. Very simple so far. And then what we're going to do is make one overhand knot, and that's like the first knot that you make when you tie your shoe. Is just a simple overhand knot. This loop here, whatever lure or bait that we're tying on has to pass through that loop. And so we're just simply going to put this through the loop, and now we get it clear, and then we can tighten everything up. And once we do that, and I will tell you folks, one thing is always moisten monofilament line, whether you do it with saliva, lake water, whatever it be, because it builds up heat in monofilament line anytime you tighten a knot. So what you want to do is moisten it, pull down on it, tighten up, and once you do that, you can pull one end, and once it's tight, pull the other end, clip off the, and always use your nail clippers as I'm doing. Don't bite the line.
How do you like those nail clippers,
That's
folks?
right.
The human nail clipper.
Well, that's, I still have my own teeth, believe it or not. But that would be a Palomar knot that would be a good knot for everyone to learn.
That's great. That's a good looking bait too. What's that, the new Westy Sluggerooski?
Yeah, this is the open hook Sluggerooski here. And one of the nice things about that is that like with the Westy worm, this is...
that's who makes that. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
Similar.
And this is the first time I had a chance to fish this. But one of the nice things about this is a bait that the fish comes up and does a lot of the work for you himself, because he'll hook himself. And like we mentioned with some of the lighter action rods that we use, a lot of times I even use an ultralight with 4-pound test line.
Oh, that's fun.
Fish a bait like this, I don't have to worry about a hook set. What we use to Texas rig, the weight we use is a bullet sinker. This one is 1/8 ounce, which is good if we're fishing
4.5 inch worms.
4.5 inch worms, not terribly deep water, and assuming the wind isn't blowing 30 miles an hour like it has lately.
Right.
But what we'll do with this is we have, this is 8-pound test monofilament line, and I'll put the line through the hole in the sinker. That goes all the way through, and it just slides up and down the line, and the pointed end of the bullet weight will go towards your rod tip. And what that allows it to do is to come through rocks and brush a little easier. Then once that's on our line, we can just let it slide up out of the way. Then what we'll do is tie on our hook. And this is a 1/0 worm hook, straight shank, very sharp, thin wire hook. Because the weight we're using is light, the worm that we're using is fairly small.
Finesse bait.
A finesse bait, so we want to use a light wire hook like this one that isn't really going to overpower the worm that we're going to use. That's right. And we talked about a Palomar knot a few minutes ago, but there's another knot that we could use, and what it is called basically is the Trilene knot. And what we'll do is go through once, come right back through the eye of the hook again, and so we're through twice, and we have a circle there that we've formed with the line. And then this line that runs back to our rod will take the tag end, the loose end, and go around that line 5 times. And not 4 and not 6, but 5 times.
5, the old 5 game.
And then we have actually 2 openings. One is a circle that we have with the original loop, and another is a loop that we have by going through 5 times. And we've said before, we can't say it too many times, moisten monofilament line before you tighten it up, because it will hurt and fracture your line if you don't do that. So we'll moisten the line, pull it tight, and now we have an excellent fishing knot to use for monofilament line.
Oh, right here, right at the boat. Oh, little tiny one here. We just came up the river here, and this is the little Zara puppy here. We've been having a couple of fish come up, but they're real tiny ones, and they've been missing the bait. Now we see why. They are real small fish here.
Well, John,
what'd they do, Walt, with the eagles here? Something happened with the eagles?
Well, unfortunately, the young eagles died, and as of this time, there hasn't been a determination of why they died. They initially think it is because of natural causes, and that's why the river has been opened up earlier than expected.
They usually open it on June 15th?
Just about the middle of June, right. And
that's too bad.
Yeah.
All that time and all the volunteers watching
Yes,
it.
that really is a big project that a lot of people put a lot of effort into, and it is a shame because the eagles are sure a beautiful sight out
Isn't
here.
that amazing? I've seen a few out here. What's going on there,
He's
Walt?
not very big, John, but he's a fish.
He's a fish. You just put
Yeah.
that on, too.
Yeah, we just
The TD minnow?
little TD minnow, and I'm trying to get the hooks out of him without getting them in ourselves. And
You got it? You need some pliers?
well, here, I've got some right here.
Okay. I noticed a little different bait there. What's that, the TD
Yeah,
minnow?
John, I just tied this on just to see if the fish might want something under the surface. This is called a TD minnow, and it's a jerk bait. When people read in the paper about things called a jerk bait, this is one. Rattling Rogue is another one. It's kind of like a Rapala minnow, but this one is a suspending bait, and what that means is that when we stop pulling on it, it tends to stay in the same place like an injured minnow would do, and it gets pretty tantalizing to the fish. And one of the ways to fish this is kind of hesitate before you pull it, stop, pull it, and a lot of times when you go to pull it again, that's when the fish will be there, and that was the case with this little guy here. But that's a nice healthy little Lake Pleasant bass that we want to get back in the water and let him go.
All right, the TD minnow.
He doesn't know he's loose yet.
He's on his way down.
There he goes. Good job.
TD minnow, which means Team
Daiwa.
Look at the shoulders on it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And
The big.
the wingspan on those are pretty impressive also.
Maybe it'll take off here.
Well, there you go.
There he goes right now. That's right on cue.
Right on cue, John. Good job.
Look at that. Look at that beautiful thing. The American bald eagle, the symbol of our country. Look at that beautiful thing. Unbelievable, huh, Walt? Like you said, what
John,
a thrill.
that's
What a thrill to see that.
just to go be out here and look at him where he's.
Going up the perch
Oh
right
my.
there. Good fish, good fish. I'm ready to eat breakfast and old
Hey,
Walt's here
boy.
wailing away.
Well, you know,
Nice one, buddy.
snooze you lose. That's one of those.
That's it. Sluggerooski.
Yeah, and that's, whoop, there he goes.
There
We're
he
going to let
goes.
him go anyway.
Anyway,
So
we're going to let him go. Show him
but
what you
that,
caught that one on.
was on
A
one
new
of the,
Westie deal, Sluggerooski.
and this one fishing 8-pound test line, fish basically hooked itself.
How were you fishing that, Walt? Was it basically that way? I noticed you were sort of subsurface.
John,
on
what
the
I was
last
doing
one.
was just holding the rod to the side, letting it sink a little, moving the rod a couple of feet at a time, and all of a sudden I went to pull on it and the fish was there. Quite honestly, that's just that simple. And that's one of the nice things about this bait. There isn't baits like this, any of the sluggo type baits, there really aren't a lot of wrong ways to do it.
Walt, can people get in touch with you at Game and Fish to do these seminars or teach them? You were telling us on the way up here this morning what you
Yeah,
actually
John, what I do is conduct fishing clinics for the Game and Fish Department, and many of them are for specific groups of people. It might be a school, it could be a group of scouts, senior citizens, handicapped people, and this is part of our sport fish education program, and through the Game and Fish Department, and I do approximately 100 fishing clinics a year. And one thing probably for people to look for would be some of our open to the public clinics that we do throughout Arizona. I do them from far west as Lake Havasu to as far east as Springerville.
How do people get the information about
Well,
these
one of
open
the
clinics?
they could call the Game and Fish Department number at 942-3000 and ask for the education branch.
It's 602, right, Eric?
It is 602 area code, right. And also, if they wanted some information they weren't able to obtain there, they could call me directly at 602-412-0240. But I should also make people aware that this is a program that has become so popular simply by word of mouth that right now I'm booked up almost a year in advance.
Ooh.
So it wouldn't be something I could make a firm appointment, but I could make them aware of when our next open to the public clinic would be that they could attend by themselves or with their families.
Come on, come the
Oh,
papa.
good, John.
John's on these deep fish
Well,
here.
yeah, they're a little better.
Oh, there's a little better fish.
Fish following it too.
Oh yeah,
so
they always follow up this time
about
of
time
year.
to
This is what I've been using lately on this
Switch
deep Carolina stuff, is the old, good old grub here. The chartreuse one. It's been working real well at all the lakes. When they're just back on, oh.
Well, there's a little one on top.
You got a top water fish here. Okay, now it's fun.
Hey,
now we're in them.
We're high-low on them. I don't know if the camera can see. There's at least 6 fish underneath this one.
Follow-ups, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They're small fish, but they're fun to catch. And we're out here at kind of windy conditions, and just kind of show you that even with the wind blowing, it was white capping here a second ago. Still catch them.
Still catching them.
If you'll put
Yeah,
up,
yours a little better than mine. They're about the
well,
same.
about the same. Not much to talk about, but there's better ones in
Put
there.
him in gently. We're rocking and rolling out here. Good, he's coming up. He's coming
Good,
up.
John.
Oh, a little one. He's real good. Look at the size of a bunch of them.
Look at them following.
Big ones too, following. Look at
That's
all
where
good
you
ones.
need to put another bait in the water right
I know.
behind it. Sometimes the bigger fish will be there.
There you go. Nope. There's a nice one. Followed it up, I tell you that. Another little one on the old grub here. Trying to get some bigger fish, but we're having a good old time here. And buckle this. He's peeing all over the place here. There you go. Nice little fella.
Look at the fish hit.
Look at him hitting that bait right there.
Can you,
A lot of little bucks out here
Yeah.
chasing around. But hey, they're fun to catch.
you got one, John?
Yeah, I got another little guy.
Well,
We
yeah.
got these little tiny fish here, but they're still fun to catch. Got to work through these smaller fish sometimes to get to the bigger ones. And I mean, this is a small fish, last week's model. But it shows that we have a healthy lake, huh, Walt?
Yeah, John, that's what I always tell them.
Got to have the little ones, got to have all different year classes of fish. I'll show you the setup one more time what I'm doing here. It's the good old grub, right there. Salt pepper with chartreuse tail. One odd hook, I'm using a Gary Klein weapon hook there. Oh, it looks like I have a lot of leader on today. I have, I'd say 30 inches maybe. And I have the old egg sinker here. Half-ounce egg sinker with the old trick with the bead and then the swivel, and then just cast it out. We're fishing out in a little deeper water. We tried all the shallow stuff to show some top water, and the bite hasn't been great at all today, so we figure we'll come out here and try some of these fish that are out on the deep structure out here, and we're catching a few little guys. Uh-oh, look at that baby Walt got out. Look at the size of that weight on there, Walt.
Heavy
Let's see that
artillery.
weight. Look at the weight down his line there, Davey. Look at that sucker. We're talking about
Well,
an anchor for some boats.
Looks like Pluto to me.
we're
What's that, a 1 ouncer?
that's a 1 ounce weight. Had been fishing some fairly deep water and fishing in some really high wind, and this is one thing that'll help keep the bait on the bottom. And
That's a good suggestion.
my opinion, the weight isn't going to bother the fish with the sliding weight. When they pick it up, they don't feel the weight so much, but it lets you keep in contact with the bottom. I've got a 6-inch, this is a Zoom watermelon colored lizard that's been catching a lot of fish out here. We'll see if maybe this might catch us a little better quality fish.
Okay.
One awful small one. I must have him foul hooked, because he is not.
Got another one there, buddy. Hey, it looks
Yeah,
like you
here-
grabbed it sideways. There's 2 fish on there or 1?
No, just one, but he just slashed at it, and when you bring them in sideways, they feel a lot bigger. We'll
Yeah,
try
I thought it
to
was a good fish at first.
release him without hurting him, but sometimes they just slash at the bait.
Here's some deep throats. You got them while I catch this fish? Oh, never mind. No, he's still on. Hold on, I'll put my pliers down.
Yeah,
Nope, I'm snagged.
that won't hurt him as bad as somebody else's frying pan.
I see him right under there.
There might be 3 or 4
I'm
underneath
going
there.
right back.
Look at
There he
that.
is. Oh, did he get it?
Look at the fish around that bait. Wow. Well, that's fun.
That's fun. They didn't grab it, but they were all over.
Hey, let's see if we can get him to do it again. There's
Yeah,
one.
there he goes. There he is. He's right under it. Oh, he missed it again.
Well, that's...
What is the deal here?
Oh, look at that. That's
There he is.
neat.
They
Good
finally
job,
got
John.
it. I said Walt gave me a bad bait, but this bait's fine. Whoa!
Wow, that's great.
Saved me from unhooking him anyway. I don't know if you folks saw that jump. I think you did. Seems like Dave had the camera out there. Let's throw across there again, see if we get another one. They're chasing those baits like crazy. Oh, he's whacked it already. There he is.
Get it?
Yep, I got that one in the hole. Come on, baby. A little fish, but they're fun, fun, fun. Here he comes. Come on. Come to Johnny. The old Zara Spook, one of the oldest top waters out. Real good bait. We showed you a little early this morning how they operate and how to throw them. You grab him and watch him. He just about grabbed it. Unplug him and get him back in there. There he is. Get back in there, boy. Decent little guy. Same deal, huh, Walt?
Yeah, same deal.
Working around this here little island out here. And they're jumping all over.